So who are these anecdotes that we've been talking about? Relative to the cancer statistics, of course, they are very few and very rare. But in absolute terms, there are literally thousands of people around the world whose lives have changed for the better because of cancer and who we can be inspired by. And what do these anecdotes do to become anecdotes? There's quite a lot of research to show that these people do 5 different things that we can learn from and perhaps we can practice. Number 1 is to reclaim your power. It's very strange, but when you have cancer, it feels like everyone else has the power. The doctors and nurses have the power. Maybe your family has the power. Maybe your priest has the power. What is strange also is that many cancer patients never ever reclaim their power. They remain victims all through the rest of their lives. We think it's extremely important that irrespective of your prognosis, you must reclaim your power. If you don't take charge of your own life and your own healing, then you will be living life on other people's terms and not yours. Number 2 is to take the fork in the road. Most illnesses feel like they are just a bump in the road. You're over the illness, you can look back and forget all about it. But cancer is different. Cancer forces us to look at and take a fork in the road. There is no going back to life as it was after cancer. There is no normalcy after cancer. It is very important that after we go through a cancer experience, that we not only change our priorities, but we also change the direction of our lives. In fact, research shows that those people who take a fork in the road have a much better quality of life and sometimes live longer too. Number 3 is to access your inner resources. Cancer is a mysterious disease, and there is in some ways too much information out there. At the same time, there is too little insight and too little wisdom. So you have to do the research, you have to go looking for information, and you got to learn whatever you can. The problem is that the real challenge lies elsewhere. What you really have to do is to learn to look inside. What we call, you have to navigate your inscape so that you can find out the stuff that's actually going on and perhaps confront some of the difficult things that you haven't confronted before. Only then can you find the resources which will help you to come out of your situation. Number 4 is to focus on quality of life rather than quantity. Our society in any case is preoccupied with living longer. And when you have cancer, living longer becomes an obsession. Because cancer forces us to think in terms of weeks and months rather than years and decades, people only think about the quantity of life. But research shows that people who think about quality of life, people who focus on living well rather than living longer, in fact, live longer. So there is a huge benefit in focusing on quality of life, doing the things you want to do, living positively, living creatively, living spontaneously, because it can have a positive impact on how long you live. Number 5 is to offer your learnings and experience in service of others. Cancer is such an existential disease that it puts us back in touch with our own humanity. And when we are in touch with our own humanity, naturally, a lot of compassion arises for the suffering of others. What the anecdotes are able to do is not just experience that compassion within themselves, but they actually turn it into action so that other people may benefit from it. This is extremely important because helping others contributes to your own healing. So let me remind you of the 5 things that you can do to become an anecdote and to beat the odds. Number 1, reclaim your power. Number 2, take the fork in the road. Number 3, access your inner resources. Number 4, focus on quality of life, not quantity. And number 5, take your learnings and experience and offer them in service of others.